What's going on, guys? In this video, I'm going to talk to you about lead magnets. And I think this is really, really important to talk about right now because lead magnets are changing. Trust is at an all-time low. If you're in the high-ticket coaching space and you know exactly what I'm talking about, leads are getting more expensive. Lead response time is taking longer and longer because people don't trust. So what's the solution? You've got to start creating lead magnets that get people results. I'm going to walk you through that. So let's get started. First things first, you need to understand what the customer journey is. And if you don't know this, it's important that you start to learn this so you can understand where people are at, and you've got to meet them where they're at. You've got to understand there's two stages here. So you got the before stage, the before state, where they're at, their current situation, they're overweight, they need to lose weight, they're broke, they need to make money. Whatever it is, that's the before state. And then over here on the right-hand side, obviously, is the after state, what they're trying to get to. And they have the different journey steps, stages that they go through. So the first one is attraction. That's where we get their attention. The second one is the subscribe stage. And that's where we get them to opt in to our email list or our CRM. These are the two stages that we're going to be talking about today. Then there, of course, is the engagement stage where you're having back and forth engagement, either through messaging or communication. They're opening your emails, that type of thing. The validation stage is some sort of video or interaction, could be webinars. The ascension stage is probably a sales call. Then, of course, your close, and then you launch them into your business. So that's the journey. And we're going to be talking about these first two stages of the customer journey, the attraction and the subscribe stage, because that's where we generate the leads. So let's talk about the attraction stage first. We've got to get people's attention. There's two main ways to do this. You've got organic contact, which is free, but notice how I'm not just doing content. We've got organic messaging, meaning we're directly messaging people. You need to be reaching out to your followers, your likes, your comments. You need to be doing this. And even potentially, if you don't have the budget to do ads, you need to be reaching out to people who aren't your followers, who aren't engaging with your content, and because it doesn't cost anything. So if you're just starting out, this is a great place to start. However, I would encourage you to get into paid ads, even if you're just doing a small budget of boosting your organic posts to start to generate inbound leads. Facebook, IG ads, shout outs, YouTube ads. These are all great strategies. And there's some tips that I'm going to give you here. These apply to both ads and organic. Speak directly to pain points. Any kind of content that you're producing, you need to be identifying the pain and the frustration that your target audience has so that they know that they can identify with you. This is really, really important. Second, build an emotional connection. And you can do this through telling stories. Hopefully you have a personal story where you've been through the transformation that you're trying to help them go through. If you don't have that, that's okay. Use the stories from some of your clients. And if you don't have any of those, then I would recommend go out and work for free until you have them. Just go out, promise someone you'll help them, try to help them get to their goal, and you'll do it for free. But all you ask is that they give you a testimonial in return. Okay. Tell stories in everything that you do. Make a point, tell a story. Pick the right channel. Meet people where they hang out. So for example, a lot of my target audience tends to spend a lot of time on YouTube because they're researching a lot. They're trying to learn, they're trying to develop their skills. So that makes sense for me. Facebook might be another channel because a lot of my content tends to attract a little bit more of a sophisticated older audience. Those tend to be on Facebook or maybe LinkedIn. For those of you in the health and fitness space, Instagram is going to be a great place to put your content out, and YouTube as well. But my point is just spend the time. Pick a channel, spend the time and your ad spend on the channel where your market is. If you work with a lot of people who are under 35, you don't need to waste your spend on on Facebook ads. Just do Instagram ads, okay? If you don't need to be trying to do social content for every platform, if you have a really young audience under 25, maybe TikTok. Right? Just so pick the right channel. Show your personality. Don't be afraid to be who you are. I'm a normal person. I don't have a real big following. I don't try to pretend to be. I don't try to be someone I'm not. I don't really care. I love sharing information because I love helping people. So that's me showing my personality. But be who you are. Show who you are. People will appreciate it. And in this world, AI, authenticity wins. It's okay to mess up a little bit. It's okay to be imperfect and not have the best editing and all of that. So let your personality, let your imperfections kind of shine through. Focus on providing solutions. There are so many ways for you to do this. I have another video on my channel where I talk about the power of value stacking in your offer, and the way that you create a value stack and create an attractive high ticket offer is by answering all of the problems that people have, right? So list out all of the problems that people have in the niche that you're in. So I think in that video, health and fitness as an example, right? A typical health and fitness offer is a healthy eating plan, a fitness journey, and like one-to-one coaching, maybe a community as well. Well, that's kind of ho-hum, kind of boring, right? So create a list of all the problems. People don't have time to grocery shop. They don't have time to meal prep. The family might not all like to eat and support them through the process. They don't have time to exercise. They don't belong to a gym. There are just so many objections and problems that people have. If you just create a list of all of those problems and then create a list of all of the solutions, there is your social content and there are your topics for your ads. Very, very simple. Change creatives frequently. There is a new algorithm out for paid traffic Andromeda, which means you need to have lots of creative. It needs to be fresh. And this is true with organic as well. You want to keep people entertained. And that's just the way that we are, the world that we're in when it comes to advertising and marketing. So you got to play that game. Okay. All right. So that's a little brief video on attraction. I've got a whole bunch of other videos and trainings and a whole course devoted just to lead generation. But let's talk about getting those people to take the action. And this is really what is changing in the industry. In the old days, it used to be easy, right? You would put out a little simple opt-in lead capture page with a PDF. Here's an ebook, and people would get it. And people might opt into that. You still might be able to get a pretty cheap lead, but those are cheap leads in terms of not just cost, but quality. Okay. Now what I see happening in the space is people, the higher quality leads need more. They need more interaction and they need more of a result back. So this is what's changing. So it's not just offering something, it's offering value. It's got to be attractive to your market. It needs to be simple to consume and to deliver. And you might think, well, an ebook is easy. Yeah, but you're not going to be able to have people get a great transformation from an ebook, okay? A PDF, one-page PDF. If you're in the B2B coaching space and you work with coaches, maybe a tracking template might get results, a one-page kind of Google sheet or something. Sure, that might bring somebody in, but for the majority of people, you need something more. And it has to be congruent with the attraction stage. I cannot tell you the number of businesses that I have audited over the years where they're advertising something and then when people get to the page that they're going to opt in on, it's completely different. They're talking about one thing in the ad and they're sending people to other information and they wonder why they have such bad conversion rates. What are some of the metrics that you should be focusing on? For cold traffic, you want a conversion rate of at least 20% of people who are landing on your page to opt in on it. Some of you might think, well, that's a stretch. Well, the more targeted you are with your ads, the more the language and the congruency is there, you're going to get that number. Okay. If people want what you are offering, they're going to opt into it. All right. Warm traffic should be well above 50%. Okay. So if you're doing stuff on social media and you say, hey, if you want my XYZ, DM me the word this, and then you automatically send back something, at least 50% of those people should be opting in. Cost per lead is going to vary for the industry, right? If you're in the high ticket coaching space and you work with high ticket coaches like I do, I might pay anywhere from $15 to $30, maybe $50 a lead, depending on the quality. If you're in the health and fitness space, bigger, broader markets, you should be in the $5 to $10 range in terms of cost per lead. Okay. So the bigger the market, the lower the cost per lead. This is an example of what I was talking about in terms of, coming up with lead magnet ideas. You can see here that the offer components of a high ticket offer, or this is like a weight loss offer, healthy eating plan, exercise plan. All we did was create a list of the problems that people have. And then we just created solutions. So the healthy eating plan, grocery shopping is a problem. Okay. Well, here's a done for you shopping list. It's too expensive. Well, here's how to eat healthy for less than $7 per day. Takes too much time. How to prepare healthy meals in 10 minutes. You get the gist. Okay. These literally could be all separate lead magnets that you use over a year and give you different copy for organic, could give you different ad angles and lead magnets. I'm not saying you should use these ones specifically. Okay, if you're in the health and fitness space, you know your market better than I do. I'm obviously not in the health and fitness space, but I do know that by solving problems, you're going to get people's attention. So these are great concepts, but the way that you deliver them becomes really, really important. And this is what's really changing in the space. It used to be a very simple, here's an ad or a social post that goes to an opt-in page. They watch a video, they book a call. It doesn't really work like that. for most offers. Okay. For some, sure. But like I said, because trust is at an all-time low, it's getting harder and harder for people to convert leads quickly. So what you need to do is you need to build trust quicker. And I've found there's new tools that are available that absolutely can help you do that. The first is micro SaaS tools. There are apps out there that allow you to build your own little software as a service. Apps, little things that you can, deliver to people very, very quickly. Calculators and, quizzes, interactive quizzes. These are huge right now. Here's in a couple of examples. I created this for one of my clients, Healthy Swap. It allows you to go in, tell it the food that you love that you want to eat, and it spits out a healthy version with like the macros and all that stuff. And you can create a meal plan from it. I created all of this in a few hours using a tool. Okay. Here's another example. I helped a client of mine. She's in the health and fitness space. We created a metabolic adaptation quiz to use as a lead magnet. And this is an incredible app. Now, this one took a little bit longer to build, but it's completely custom. And what it allows us to do is people can go through this and they can get a detailed, very specific response and video based on the tier that they're in. You can see over on the green, yellow, orange, and red. Those are the 4 tiers. And every one of those tiers has a separate video, has separate landing page, separate score. And all I did was create this custom app. You don't have to pay for a third-party, tool, to host this or anything like that. You can actually build this with tools that are out there. I actually have a course that shows you how to do this step by step. If you want it, comment down below course, and I will send it to you. There is a cost to it. It's not super expensive, but it's a complete detailed course that shows you exactly how I did this, how to build it in detail. These are examples of interactive tools that have high value, that solve problems, that get the attention of target audiences. That's really where your mind needs to be. Now, does that mean that all the other lead magnets are dead? Of course not. There are plenty of tools that are out there that still work. Master classes and mini courses, templates and guides, ebooks and audiobooks, live training, swipe files, a low ticket offer. All of these things still have its place. But what I'm finding for the top of funnel, for broader audiences, people who don't know who you are yet, the micro SaaS and the interactive quizzes, this is the future. These are the things that are bringing the highest quality leads. And that's what you want. At the top of that funnel, you want people who are opting into your system with the highest intent possible. Okay. So that's why those work so well. And then what you can do is you can follow up and do retargeting ads for things like masterclasses or recorded webinars or mini courses. You can use the templates and the guides and the ebooks to add further validation and other touch points through messaging and follow-up messaging. And you can use these things in like 2 steps. Hey, if you want my, XYZ, ebook or my XYZ template, comment template, and I'll send it to you, right? You can use all of the other stuff that's out there. They still work by adding additional information, but I'm finding in the space, the best tools, the best lead magnets are the micro SaaS, interactive quizzes, those types of things that get people results, calculators. I created one for myself that is a tool that allows you to input your kind of metrics for your offer, and it spits out exactly what you need to do if you want in order for you to get to the level that you want to get. How many leads you need to generate, what your cost per lead needs to be, how many closes that you need to have, sales calls you need to have, and so on. It's a really, really effective calculator, and it gets people's attention, and it really, really works. So hopefully this information is useful to you. I would love to hear what lead magnets are working for you. Let me know down below. If you want that course on how I create these micro SaaS and interactive quizzes and these tools, comment course down below and I will send that to you. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one.